Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Friday the 13th, 2009. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Bermuda, 9:30 a.m. in Mexico City. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. On this day in history in 1997, the Dow Jones Industrial Average broke 7,000 for the first time, closed that afternoon at 7,022. At this moment, it's at 7,894. It's quite an improvement in 12 years. Today's birthday, the American test pilot Chuck Yeager is 86 years old today. Now to our main news. There was an airplane crash, a commercial crash in New York State by Buffalo, New York last night. A Continental Airlines commuter plane coming in for a landing had a nosedive into a house in suburban Buffalo in the town of Clarence, New York. Sparked a fiery explosion that as of this morning was still burning, killed all 48 people on board the plane and 2 people in the house. It was the first fatal crash of a commercial airliner in the United States in 2.5 years. The plane went down about 10:20 p.m., about 5 miles from the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. It was a twin-engine turboprop. The weather conditions were light snow and fog. The flight shown here, this is a Dash 8 Q400 of the type that went down. The flight number was 3407. It was a Continental Connection flight from Newark International up to Buffalo. Came in squarely through the roof of the house. One of the people, 2 people in the home were killed. Among the 44 passengers killed was a woman whose husband, Sean Rooney, had worked for Aon, who died in the World Trade Center attacks on September 11th. Her name was Beverly Eckert. As of this morning, the fire was still burning. Apparently, there was a natural gas line located in that area that had ruptured and was on fire as well. There was no Mayday alert that came out from the pilot beforehand. Some of the other pilots in the area were indicating that there was some icing incidents that they were encountering. The 74-seat Q400 Bombardier aircraft was operated by Colgan Air. USAIG, the United States Aircraft Insurance Group, leads the cover for Continental Flight 3407. The cover is thought to be jointly brokered by Aon and Marsh. The flight, of course, was about 5 minutes out before it went down. And the plane was operated by Colgan. This is a bit torturous, which is a subsidiary of Pinnacle Airlines, which operates the service on behalf of Northwest, which had a code-sharing agreement with Continental. Northwest, of course, has now merged with Delta. So this is a whole bowl of soup. As of right now, it will be Colgan, Pinnacle, Northwest, Delta, and Continental. There was also an earthquake yesterday, actually this morning, a 6.1 magnitude quake in the remote Kermadec Islands north of New Zealand. It was at 6:54 a.m. local time, and it was approximately 232 miles south of Raoul Island. It was barely felt in the northern island of New Zealand. There was also an earthquake this morning, about 4:30 a.m. This was a 5.2 on the Peruvian-Brazilian border. This would be the red square located there a little bit to the left. This was 325 miles northeast of Lima. That's dense jungle area. There have been no reports of any damages or injuries. In Australia, some news is coming that authorities have charged a man this morning with lighting one of the wildfires that killed more than 180 people. Police said that the suspect was charged with 1 count of arson, causing death, and intentionally lighting a wildfire near the town of Churchill, Australia, that killed at least 21 people. The fire this person lit was apparently one of hundreds of fires that raced through southeastern Victoria on the 7th of February, leaving 7,000 homeless. The suspect was also charged with possessing child pornography. The disaster's official death toll is at 181 now, but efforts to find and identify victims are continuing. The suspect's identity is being kept a secret. He was brought to the state capital of Melbourne in an effort to preserve him from the fury of crowds. In Algeria this morning, 2 roadside bombs have exploded in the eastern part of the country, killing 7 people. This just hours after the Algerian president announced he would run for a third term. The bombings interrupted a relative period of calm where the secular-leaning government has been battling a resurgent al-Qaeda militant group. First bomb blew up near Faoum el-Metlag, near Tabasa, killing 4 members of one family. A second device went off when rescue services arrived, killing 2 police officers and a firefighter. Also yesterday in the Ukraine, emergency officials say that a fire on board a bus killed 7 people and injured 20 others. It occurred on a village road in the eastern region of Donetsk. See, the bus is overturned here. The emergency ministry said that the fire was likely caused by a faulty gas canister. The bus was running on natural gas, which is a popular but dangerous substitute for petroleum in the former Soviet Union and elsewhere. Stock market is down about 38 points now. The House of Representatives is scheduled to vote today on the Obama stimulus package. We'll go for a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news. In news last night, the Toyota Motor Corporation announced that it will reduce production at its North American manufacturing plants in an effort to grapple with what the Japanese car maker called the worst automotive slump in decades. Toyota said it will take steps including cutting production days in April, reducing paid hours for workers, eliminating executive and salaried bonuses, cutting executive pay, and offering a voluntary exit to employees who wish to pursue other opportunities. North America is Toyota's largest market. It sold 521,000 vehicles in the fourth quarter of last year, compared with 465,000 in Japan. That's its second biggest market. As per its latest forecast, Toyota expects North American sales to drop from about 3 million units down to 2.07 million units during the current financial year. Toyota says that it sees no wage increases for the foreseeable future. Toyota employs roughly 25,000 workers in North America. It's offering all of them 10 weeks of pay, 2 weeks of additional pay for every year of service, and $20,000 in cash to get them to leave the company. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner is in Rome today meeting with his European colleagues. They're going to have glum looks on their faces, and here's why. The European economy sank even deeper into recession than the U.S. did in the closing months of last year. Data was made public this morning as finance ministers from the leading 7 industrialized nations known as the G7 gathered in Rome to debate the global economic crisis. According to the EU Statistics Office, the economy of the 16 countries sharing the euro declined by 1.5% in the fourth quarter. This would be a 6+% annualized, much deeper than the 3.8% annualized rate